then get down to business with the OnePlus 7T. So you can see here we have this oblong bright red box, which is completely different to what we're used to seeing from this company. On this side of the box we have nothing but a logo, and on this side there's the product's name, nothing on the top and the bottom. These labels on the bottom first of all tell us that we've got a Glasier Blue unit with 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage. We can tell that there's a Qualcomm Snapdragon logo here, but that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Dolby Atmos on the other hand is pretty interesting. And without further ado, let's peel off the plastic shrink wrap. Okay. So right on the top there's this little cardboard sleeve, and inside it we have an invitation letter. Let's open this. So here's a message from Pete Lau, co-CEO of OnePlus. We have some stickers, basic quick start guide, and a bit of information about how the plastic in this packaging can be recycled. And this is the phone itself. Take that out of its final protective layer. And here's our first look at it in Glasier Blue. Let's switch that on. And while it's booting up, we'll put it to one side and check out the rest of the box. So below this tray, we have a basic clear plastic case, which will be included for everybody. We have another piece of cardboard with the SIM eject pin, a trademark bright red OnePlus cable with a USB Type-C connector, and a standard USB Type-A connector on this end. And finally, the Warp charger. So this charger is rated at 5 volts 6 amps, which means it has a 30 watt rating overall and is roughly the same size and shape that we're used to seeing. So here we have the OnePlus 7T with all its box contents, and we are going to now get a closer look at the phone itself. So finally we get our hands on the OnePlus 7T. We have it in Glasier Blue. The first thing we can see is this matte frosted glass finish at the back, and there's a slight gradient to the color as well, which is fairly predictable. We can of course see the huge circular camera bump at the back with 3 actual camera lenses all in a line, and the flash at the bottom below there. So let's quickly go through the setup process, and then we'll talk more about this phone's looks and features. And that's it. Setup process is complete. So here we have our first permission pop-up and what looks like an animated wallpaper. Now let's talk a little bit about the hardware and features of this phone. So what we have is a power button on the side and the trademark OnePlus alert slider. We have volume buttons over here. The SIM tray is on the bottom. There's of course a Type-C USB port and a speaker. Now this phone does have stereo speakers, so the one at the bottom works along with this earpiece, and our unit has a pre-attached screen protector. Primary rear camera is a 48 megapixel sensor with an f1.6 aperture. This camera also has optical image stabilization and lets you record 4K video at up to 60 frames per second or slow motion 720p video at up to 960 frames per second. It's joined by a 16 megapixel wide angle camera and a 12 megapixel telephoto camera that lets you get 2x optical zoom with an f2.2 aperture. OnePlus also boasts of this phone's macro camera capabilities and says you can get as close to 2.5 centimeters to anything that you're trying to photograph. And of course, there's a camera on the front as well. This is a 16 megapixel camera with electronic image stabilization. In terms of camera software, there are also a few tweaks such as intelligent scene detection and a nightscape mode that combines multiple exposures to give you a much more detailed shot at night. We've also got an in-display fingerprint sensor over here. Of course, there's also news on the front of this phone, and what we have here is Fluid AMOLED display with a 20:9 aspect ratio and Full HD Plus resolution. But of course, another feature is its 90 Hz refresh rate. So that means games and all sorts of visuals should look much smoother. So what we see over here is Oxygen OS 10 running on top of Android 10. So under this glass panel, we have a 3800 mAh battery, and the big news here is that OnePlus supports Warp Charge 30T. The OnePlus 7T weighs 190 grams and is 8.13 millimeters thick.
The OnePlus 7T is a flagship smartphone with a 6.55-inch Full HD Plus Fluid AMOLED display with a 90 Hz refresh rate that gives users a smooth experience. It houses 3 cameras at the back. It has a 48-megapixel primary camera with a Sony IMX586 sensor, the second is a 12-megapixel telephoto lens, and the third is a 16-megapixel ultra-wide camera for capturing wide-angle shots. For your selfie needs, the smartphone has a 16-megapixel selfie camera. The smartphone has an HDR10 Plus display for you to enjoy HDR content. The display is protected by Gorilla Glass 6. For security, it has an in-display fingerprint sensor and also supports face unlock from the front-facing camera. The OnePlus 7T runs on Android with OnePlus's Oxygen OS overlaying it. For performance, it relies on the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 Plus processor. The smartphone comes with 8GB RAM and is available in 2 storage options, 128GB and 256GB. The smartphone boasts of the latest UFS 3.0 storage. It also sports a game mode to give mobile gamers an immersive experience. Adding to the immersion, the smartphone has 2 speakers for stereo sound. The phone also supports Dolby Atmos. The smartphone is available in 2 color options, Frosted Silver and Glasier Blue. The OnePlus 7T is a dual nano SIM phone with both SIM slots supporting 4G. The 3800 mAh lithium polymer battery comes with Warp Charge 30 fast charging with a claimed charge of 0 to 70% in 30 minutes. The box includes the handset, Warp Charge 30T power adapter, Type-C cable, quick starter guide, case, SIM tray ejector, and a pre-applied screen protector. The OnePlus 7T comes with standard brand warranty. You can avail EMI and exchange options. You can also pay online using your debit or credit card, net banking, or other methods. For further information on the product, warranty, payment and delivery options and other offers, visit the product detail page.